then that's why people are going to probably get mad at me on this. But like, I don't think Joe Rogan says racist shit like that. And it's not because like he was young back then and he changed, but I'm pretty sure that like some of this stuff is news contextually, you know, in a similar capacity to the Young Turks' clips. Some of it is because he did say it. Okay. And then there's also the completely unacceptable one, which is the Planet of the Apes joke, right? Like that's just like, that is just really, really racist. No use fucking dancing around that or anything like that. It's just racist. It's just straight up a racist ass fucking joke that like every black person in here has heard a million times over. It's so common. It's so hacky. Like it's just the most obvious, horrible thing. Okay.
Take me to this one.
This one specifically.
Goes, okay. Goes, that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door and there was no white people. So
that's like completely, that's just like very, very obvious, very fucking bad, hacky ass, racist ass jokes. No two ways about it. Totally gross, totally awful. There's a reason why it's in fucking 1P, because it's from like 10, 12, I don't know how many fucking years ago, right? And that is like very definitionally, that is like the racist ass one, right? Like all of that is racist as fuck. The reason why it's resurfacing now is because people are using that as an opportunity because of all the other shit that he's done that is, I think, really damaging, like the COVID denial, and all this, you know, the vaccine conspiracies, all this other shit that he's promoting. And that's precisely why they're talking about this. They're like resurfaced all of that, okay? I mean, motherfuckers still had hair back then. Like, that's how you know this shit is old, right? So here's what he had to say. I didn't watch the entire thing. I did watch like up to here, I think. And I thought it was pretty reasonable. I wanna play all of it though, and I want to talk about it as quickly as possible here.
Hello, friends. I'm making this video to talk about...
Oh, fuck. Before I do that, though, I totally forgot to run the ad break. Sorry. Top of the hour. I got to run an ad break right now. You know, top of the hour, every hour. It's the most racist thing I do for the entire broadcast. I do it once every hour. But listen, if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is, you know, you can subscribe. Dick 4 with the 50 big ones. Okay, you can subscribe for $5 or for free, or you can get 50 fucking gifted subs, and that way you can avoid the top of the hour ad break. You know what I'm saying? That's one way to do it. But if you're not lucky, you can make your own luck by subscribing for $5, or if you don't have $5, subscribing for free with the Twitch Prime. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
The most.
And for the record, like, you know, Ethan Klein has apologized for exactly a similar thing. You guys know this. I've defended him as well. I defend people that I disagree with or defend people that I agree with. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, if someone has demonstrated growth, if someone has already stopped and have personally rehabilitated, why the fuck am I going to constantly bring it up? Unless it's like relevant to the conversation. If Joe Rogan was still doing like hella racist shit right now, okay? If he was like constantly trying to dog whistle or be as racist as possible against black people specifically, and like, you know, doing shit like that, okay? And that's when you bring up the old stuff that he did to be like, look, this is a long history of his racism. Then that's different. But for the most part, I don't think that, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that he's like, I think that comment about Michael Eric Dyson and blackness during Jordan Peterson interview helped kick this off. That probably is a part of it. He's just a dumbass. Like, he is the racism here of Joe Rogan's like racism is like not the Joe Rogan's racism from 12 years ago. You know what I mean? It's like old, out of touch white guy racism, which is expected to some degree. It doesn't make it all right. It doesn't make it appropriate. But like the old stuff, that was actually fucking racist. And I don't think he's like that. I think he has actually gotten a lot better. But let's hear what he has to say.
regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks fucking horrible, even to me. Now, I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a
Like, this is correct. Like, I think that this is not only correct, but good.
long time, when I would bring that word up, like if it would come up in conversation, instead of saying the N-word, I would just say the word. I thought as long as it was in context, people would understand what I was doing. Like that context was part of the clip we were talking about Red Fox, how Red Fox said that word on television in the 1970s, and how times have changed so much since then. Or about how Richard Pryor used it as one of the titles of one of his albums. Or I was quoting a Lenny Bruce bit, or I was quoting a Paul Mooney bit, or I was talking about how Quentin Tarantino used it repeatedly.
So this is for the times where he's like said it while like, you know, talking about the word or anything like that. That is understandably something that he's apologizing for. I don't think he talks at all about the Planet of the Apes thing. Like that one is worse for sure. In my opinion, that is more hateful and more racist than him just saying the N-word. Like when he's talking about the N-word, you know what I mean? So we'll see. I don't know if he talks about it, but maybe he will.
Or I was talking about how a Netflix executive, ironically, used it because he was trying to compare it to another offensive word, and he said it out loud, and they fired him. Not calling anybody or just saying the word out loud. I was also talking about how there's not another word like it in the entire English language, because it's a word where only one group of people is allowed to use it, and they can use it in so many different ways. Like if a white person says that word, it's racist and toxic, but a black person can use it and it could be a punchline. It could be a term of endearment. It could be lyrics to a rap song. It could be a positive affirmation. It's a very unusual word, but it's not my word to use. I'm well aware of that now, but for years I used it in that manner. I never used it to be racist because I'm not racist, but whenever you're in a situation where you have to say, I'm not racist, you fucked up. And I clearly have fucked up.
I mean, this is the part, this is the extent of what I watch. And up to this point, 100%, like this is valid. Obviously, it's not my place. I'm a fucking white dude. Not only am I a white dude, but I'm a white dude who grew up in Turkey, okay? I'm a white dude who grew up only seeing black people and black culture in Hollywood. That's just the fucking... You know, that's just the reality. Like that's not, you know, there isn't like a black culture in Turkey in the same way. There aren't black people in Turkey in the same way. So up to this point, though, I do think this is like a person who legitimately is like, yeah, no, this is fucked up. Like this is not, you know, what I did was inappropriate, and I'm sorry, and I don't do it anymore.
And that's my intention to express myself in this video, to say, there's nothing I can do to take that back. I wish I could. Obviously, that's not possible. I do hope that, if anything, that this can be a teachable moment. Because I never thought it would ever be taken out of context and put in a video like that. And now that it is, holy shit, it looks bad. And it's part of also me doing this podcast for thousands of hours, thousands of episodes over 12 years. I said a lot of fucking stupid shit.
By the way, for when he's out of context, or when he says he's out of context, what he's talking about in that situation is like the Young Turks clip that's going around. You know what I mean? Like, maybe not even to the same degree, because like contextually, you know, the fucking TYT hosts are not racist. Like in any case, like most of the fucking clips that they found, that they pulled, they're literally talking about, most of the clips that they found, they're quite literally talking about like the Young Turks covering white supremacy and racist shit from an anti-racist, anti-white supremacist point of view. So it's really fucking idiotic when like reactionaries clip shit like that and go, "Whoa, look at that," which is very different still. Okay, when you even apply context to the Joe Rogan situation, because like he still is doing the Planet of the Apes joke at that time. You know what I mean? So like that stuff is racist. Like that is absolutely fucking racist. Let's continue. I'm going to look at all the other stuff. He made his guest say it last year. That sort of shit. Like I'll look at, okay. I'll look at, the after. Okay. Let's just continue with this for now.
It's fine when you're talking about most things, but not when you're talking about race. And there's another clip that I have to address. There's a clip from 11 years ago. I was telling a story on the podcast about how me and my friend Tommy and his girlfriend, we got really high. We were in Philadelphia and we went to go see Planet of the Apes. And we didn't know where we were going. We just got dropped off by a cab and we got dropped off in this all black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining. And I said, we got out and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but
I mean, you did. It's the joke. The joke that you made is bad. It's hacky. It's hacky. It's bad. It fucking. This is literally worse than like reading out the N word in a quote, or is so much worse than like, yeah, it's just bad. It's not good. There's no reason to fucking defend that. Like, there's no reason to try and defend that. It's like, I think one thing that we need to do as human beings is be like, look, I fucked up. You know what I mean? That's fucked up. It's horrible. Because, like, it's not like he's going to refine that bit and make that joke again. Because the ultimate point of that joke literally is that, you know, black people are like apes, right? Don't say it's a joke, holy fuck. Because I am the comedy defender here, okay? I'm the comedy defender here. Even from a comedic standpoint, you should just admit that that's hacky as fuck. Like, that is the most hacky fucking thing you can say, okay? It is. Racist jokes, even if you're thinking about it from the point of view of fucking trying to make comedy, racist jokes are hacky as fuck. It's literally bottom of the fucking barrel. It is just the worst. Anyway, we know you defend some garbage ass jokes sometimes. Yes, I'm sorry that I don't live in your fucking idiotic worldview. Anyway, but my point is this. Remember, my point is always this. You should be able to fucking own the bad shit that you did, apologize, and move on and demonstrate growth, okay? So the environment that we're in, obviously, people that refuse to do that are at fault. And also on the other side, like when people do that, you still won't let them fucking live. You know what I mean? And it's really fucked up and it's really stupid. It's just like, let people apologize. Joe Rogan should. I don't know if he is right now. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like he's trying to still defend it. But like, people fuck up. People say bad things. People can even be actual fucking racists, okay? People can be like literally fucking racist people. There are Nazis that are no longer Nazis anymore. You know, life after hate. Like, there are organizations that directly work with people that get pulled out of far-right radicalization chambers, okay? And are no longer like that. If you don't believe in rehabilitation, you're not a fucking progressive. If you don't believe that people can change for the better, you're not a fucking progressive. It's one of the most annoying parts about American culture.
11 months since
okay?
Mom abandoned me at this daycare.
it sure fucking sounded like that. And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. Planet of the Apes wasn't even in Africa. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there.
See? He said,
I was just saying there's a lot of black people there. But
we know what you were trying to say, bro. You're still fucking, you know, anyway, whatever. He's saying it's racist. He admits it is racist, but he's still like trying to fucking defend it. I don't know. It's just not great. That part is not great, apology wise.
it's like we were in
That's a light 3, okay? On the Fantano scale, I'm rating that part of the apology a light 2, not even a 3.
Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that.
12 months
And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. Planet of the Apes wasn't even in Africa. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there. But then
Yeah, we get the joke. I don't know why he's trying to explain it. He's literally saying like, no, the joke is that like black people are apes. He's literally like, look, Planet of the Apes, not in Africa, but black people are like apes. Like, you know, that was the joke. Like, yeah, that's the point. That's why people are mad about that one. That one is kind of bad. Okay. It's not good. Come on, bro. Okay, let's continue.
Then I went on to talk about what a positive experience it was and how much fun it was to go to see this movie in a black neighborhood. It wasn't a racist story, but it sounded terrible. And like I said, you can have clunky stories about anything, but not about race. And so I deleted that whole podcast, but obviously somebody made a clip out of it and taken out of context. It looks terrible, but it looks terrible even in context. It's a fucking idiotic thing to say. And I was just trying to be entertaining. I certainly wasn't trying to be racist. And I certainly would never want to offend someone for entertainment with something as stupid as racism. My hope is that, look, I can't go back in time and change what I've said. I wish I could. Obviously, that's not possible. But I do hope that this can be a teachable moment for anybody that doesn't realize how offensive that word can be coming out of a white person's mouth, in context or out of context. My sincere and humble apologies. I wish there was more that I could say, but all of this is just me talking from the bottom of my heart. It makes me sick watching that video, but hopefully at least some of you will accept this and understand where I'm coming from. My apologies and much love. My sincere, deepest apologies and much love.
I mean, he is apologizing. He is. It's not great, but I mean, it's the worst thing is like, listen, there's probably a million more clips like this, okay? From old clips, from new times, clips from like even now when he said shit that's like sussy, like the whole I'm not, I'm white, but I'm not, I'm Italian, that sort of shit. Like it's this is like 2016, 2014 era under Obabe type fucking culture wars all over again. I don't know. Look, I don't know why he said I was not trying to be racist when they're clearly racist. That just makes it worse. Yeah, like here's the reality, okay? I think he recognizes that it's racist. He's trying to fucking cope with like his own ego while also recognizing that the joke is racist and apologizing for it as best as possible over here. Because the ape one is like way more racist than like talking about the N-word contextually. You know what I mean? Like I know most people will just hear him say the N-word and get in hyper focus, laser focus on that. But like the ape one is like actually a racist joke. You know what I mean? That's like actually a racist joke because the punchline of the ape one is that like black people are apes. And that is, that's not joking. That's like you're fucking, even if you're trying to joke, you're, doing it in a way where your joke is just racist. Like the only people that'll laugh at that would be like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, like that's the fucking joke. Like, okay, the joke is what? That you think black people are like apes? That's not funny unless you're literally a racist person. But ultimately, worse than the ape one. Like I'm sure you're gonna find other ones that are even worse. I mean, dude, look at this. Like, what is this? Is this even more racist shit? I don't even know what the fuck this is. Like, look at that, bro. Listen, if Joe Rogan has hair in the clips that you're sending me, it's fucking 12 years ago, okay? If it's in 1p, if it's in fucking 1p, you're sending me clips from Joe Rogan from like many, many years ago. Okay. Not that the hair itself, not that the hair itself is the reason why he is this way, but it's too weird as a black man to hear him defend. So he's got to get help. It's like saying it was a different time. It's not. Yeah. No. It's still. What is this? Where is this coming from? Okay, well, the joke is already fucking reading out in the clip. What was it? This was like he peer pressured his guest into saying the N-word?
You won't say it. Look,
I've been a fan for a good few years, but now I'm a worker and use your JCS Vince's background audio
Nigger.
to drive.
Music of Twitch 2021 later. I feel like Zoomers failed to recognize that the internet was a wildly different place 10 years ago. I mean, it was still unacceptable back then, though. Like, that's the... Bro, this shit wasn't acceptable back then either. Like, people still did it, and they pushed boundaries, but it was still fucked up. Okay? It's like saying... what do you call it? It's like saying, oh, well, slavery was acceptable. It was a different time when the fucking founding fathers were around. It's like, yeah, to who, motherfucker? Not to the black people. You know what I mean? It's still bad. It's still bad behavior. Like you still, you know, you can, and in a lot of instances, it is the reason why it's so difficult to fucking apologize for shit like this is because like you're apologizing for a different person than who you are. Okay, you're literally apologizing for someone who you used to be, someone who you are no longer like. Someone who embarrasses you, like looking back at like
Also,
old shit that you did, it embarrasses you. It's embarrassing. You've changed, right? Especially if you've changed, and you know, looking back at that stuff, it's just like it's whack. Especially if you've literally fucking, you know, especially if you've apologized, especially if you've like, you know, changed and don't do that anymore. And that's why I always talk about like this sort of thing. And people get mad at me whenever I talk about this sort of thing because people are like, well, you're a white guy. You've changed, i.e. you've become famous. Yeah, totally. Like when Ethan Klein said the N-word, he was not famous at all. Or when Joe Rogan was saying the N-word, he was not famous at all. You're right. Motherfucker, he hosted the Fear Factor at that point. What the fuck are you talking about, idiot? No, he was still famous. He was very famous. Like, you're wrong. No, it's not because they changed because of fame or whatever. Okay? He was still fucking famous. I hate when people do that. I hate when people do that. Like, there are plenty of fucking racist people who don't... They still try to be racist. Like, what do you want? As a black guy, it's a decent apology for what it is. Him saying he was racist wouldn't change the fact that he said what he said. It's just lip service at the end of the day. Yeah. I think so too. Just don't try and tell us not to be mad because he made a good apology video because he's changed to not saying the N-word in fear of public retaliation. I mean, ultimately, I don't care. Okay? This is not what I care about. I don't think I think Joe Rogan is way more damaging when he has like fucking white nationalists like Stephen Molyneux on his podcast. He's way more damaging when he's like fucking offering credence and offering relevance in his platform to like Gavin McInnes that goes on and creates the Proud Boys and Milo Yiannopoulos. I think Joe Rogan is way more damaging when he's spreading COVID misinformation. Okay? Racism is all around America. Okay? We just covered a 22-year-old delivery driver, a DoorDash driver, okay, get fucking destroyed on his own couch in his own fucking apartment on a no-knock raid in Minneapolis. Joe Rogan is not responsible for that. And Joe Rogan's racism offenses with respect to how racist the American fucking, the American society has been constructed in perpetuity from its fundamentals all the way to contemporary society is not... He's on a completely different playing field than Joe Rogan be like, I'm sorry, I fucking said racist jokes when I had hair. And, you know, and then tried to still, with his ego, defend it too. Like, because he does. He definitely does fucking defend it here. Where he's like, oh, I didn't mean like black people were apes, but I kind of did mean it. But like, I didn't mean to mean it. Like, it's just bullshit. It's bullshit. Okay? So I'm not allowed to be mad at him? No, I'm saying you can. You can be as mad at him as you want. It's valid. Get mad at him. Okay? I'm not telling, when I said I don't care, I mean like, I don't personally care. You can do whatever you want. Okay?
Frown.
No apology is going to be perfect, and I don't think he is like the same level of prejudiced as he once was. He's still, of course, prejudiced. So many people are, okay? So many people have racist tendencies. It's very hard to shake. He had these until he was like, even when he was famous, even well into his adulthood. Very difficult for him to shake that sort of shit. I've heard a million different fucking apologies from a million different people being fucking racist, and this one is higher on the ranks as far if we're like ranking who the fuck is being genuine. Okay? But ultimately, in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, like, I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't. This is like people are fucking, what do you call it? People are like upset about this because they just saw it. I've known about this for a long time. I don't know. Maybe it's just like, and obviously because I'm privileged, I'm a white person, and or more importantly, I'm not a black person. Okay, that grew up in the United States of America. From where I'm standing, it's like a dude who I've heard a million times over say things that I've heard a million times over, saying and probably repeating all of those fucking things that a bunch of you have probably said on the internet as well, without having a major fucking a major platform that you have benefited from not saying it on a major platform, and you've grown from. You know what I mean? You've grown and you've changed. The charitable non-racist interpretation is he saw only black people, made a "we're in Africa" joke, and then thought Africa is the continent where the most wildlife apes. No. I think he was literally trying to fucking, basically was not directly calling black people apes directly, but saying it's a commonality of the continent. But he should have said so clearly if that's the case. It doesn't, like, no, it was just racist as fuck. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, since he has spread false information about COVID, I don't care if he gets nailed on a cross for other reasons. Yeah, like I just, focus your energy and effort on like the contemporary shit that does matter, because in the grand scheme of things, when you think about this sort of stuff, to the average American, to most people on the planet, okay? To most people on the fucking planet, this weakens the overall argument because they see that, they see themselves in Joe Rogan. We live in a racist society. We live in a white supremacist society. White supremacist social conditioning is like a fundamental part of this. That's why when you grow up as a black person in America, okay, when you grow up as a black person in America and you go to a public school and you're getting the whitest education possible, you yourself end up learning less about your own background, about your own heritage, about your own history, okay? So like, of course, a white dude on top of that is going to have fucking racist ass takes. It's what you do when you learn and what you grow. That's what matters. Okay? And ultimately, when we cover this sort of stuff, when we get like super mad about this sort of stuff, when like this motherfucker was being racist as hell 12 years ago or whatever, when he's like, when you can't really find anything. Whitest education, LMFAO, you're such a prejudiced undercover racist. Like this guy, okay? This guy can't even fucking figure it out. Like he's literally offended, okay? He is offended that I'm saying that like American public education is white supremacist in its inception, and the values that they pump out in American education very rarely ever fucking considers the black perspective from a human point of view. Me saying that is making this fragile little pussy so fucking mad. Look at this. It's whitewash history. That's the reason why you're like, the only fucking MLK quote you hear is, "Oh, I have a dream that white people and black people can coexist together," without analyzing the material conditions or the social conditions for black people at the time. Okay? So, dude is a white meathead comedian wannabe. What do people expect? Yeah, exactly. So I see it, like I understand it, I recognize it, I know where it's coming from. But slavery was so long ago, why can't you just get over it? We were commissioned to create a graph tattoo showing how it wasn't all that long ago. Yeah, dude. There you go. So, why do you use the word pussy? I don't know, because I'm a fucking bad person, dude. That's why, okay? That's why because I'm a bad person. And you should fucking cancel me as well.
Mainline liquid dish soap to cure my scabies.
So, where was I? Where was I? Where was I? Okay, so as I was saying, and this is like this sort of stuff is like analyzed in the most like hyper individual atomized way. You're complaining about cancel culture essentially. No, I think there's a valid and reasonable fucking thing to like get upset over Joe Rogan about, and that is you know, not if Joe Rogan's making these jokes right now, then holy fuck, that's completely unacceptable. Okay, just like, but if someone has already made these fucking jokes back in the day and they don't do that anymore, and they deleted it, they very clearly recognize that it was unacceptable, then I don't know what you want from people. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what you want from motherfuckers who like have apologized for it, right? It's just very frustrating to constantly fucking have to rehash shit that you've done in the past that you know is inappropriate and unacceptable. And when I see Joe Rogan talking about this, like, and that's the reason why there's a lot of black people in this chat that are also not fond of Joe Rogan for many, many different things, that are looking at this and going, this is not the worst apology that I've ever heard. Like, he's not doubling down to say like, oh, I have black friends. He's not fucking saying all this other shit that you hear from a million different people who aren't actually apologetic. It's more so that he is embarrassed, understandably so, about things that he said in the past. And he's trying to say like, I'm not a racist person, even though I did make racist jokes back then. But not everyone knows how to fucking atone for their sins, per se, under the gospel of liberalism. For real, so get the fuck over, chat. Beating racism one person at a time is never going to work. It's just like, yeah. Does the U.S. this time good for vacation? Planning to go, but a bit scared of the COVID? I don't know. It's up to you. Yeah, the trans stuff, like, you don't hear him fucking apologize for transphobia because he's fucking transphobic. You know what I mean? Anyway. So that's what I got. Only doubling down is that he's embarrassed and trying to dodge the bullet. It's whack, but white people do it all the time. The point is he understands it was wrong and isn't going to do it anymore. And he hasn't done it. And it's whatever. I don't need every white person to apologize perfectly. Also, I don't give a fuck. I hate him anyway. Also, what up, black hossy heads? So, yeah, I mean, people don't know how to win arguments. Let him come to your side. What? Ultimately, though, the thing that is like, the thing that is unproductive about this conversation is that, like, there are legitimate ways to talk about this and be like, damn, this is like fucked up that Joe said this. Okay. But now, for the average American who is way more racist than fucking Joe is now, and definitely as racist as Joe was back then, okay, and or even to the average American who was as racist as Joe Rogan and is no longer as racist, right? They look at this and they go, oh, what the fuck? The liberal loony left is going again. They're crazy. They're going again. Does that make sense? Do you understand? So it almost, we go back into the cancel culture argument, and the unfortunate reality is it's just the left is never going to win that. It's just not going to happen. What is this? Yuck. Imagine you're shopping and you see these two. What the fuck? Why they posed for it? I mean, whatever, dude.
6 months.
Play the race science Joe Rogan clip. It goes a bit beyond. The ape one is already. It's enough for me to know that he was fuck. That was a racist fucking joke, dude. And I'm sure this is gonna be racist as fuck too.
One of those, you know that he's got some black in him, but how much?
How much?
What's going on here?
Are you asking me to strip Joe Rogan right now?
What are you?
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go
One of the strongest combinations of all time.
I would say so.
Yeah, you get the body of the black man, and then you get the mind of Fred.
What the fuck? Is the guy? Wait, is the guy he's talking to a black person? Isn't he? Isn't Freddie Lockhart? Isn't he black?
Up in Canada the other day and rocking today. Thanks, Daddy Hasan.
This is literally like fucking. I mean, this is like race science shit. I mean, straight up. Yeah, that's like ugh.
Black chatters Hassel has high.
He's kind of suggesting that black people are dumb paint champ. No, he's not kind of suggesting it. That is the point. No, he's literally saying that. What the fuck are you talking about? That's not a kind suggestion. There's nothing kind about that at all. That's just race science shit, dude. That's literally, no, that's what he's saying. That's precisely what he's saying. Literally, the actually black people have lower IQ. This is out of context, right? Him using the man's logic against him. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but I'm sure like more videos like this will resurface as well. For sure, he's half dad. Yeah, he is half dad, African American, mom English, Italian English. Oh, so he's literally he's making the race science argument to the fucking person about their own personal background. Jesus Christ, dude. Bro, that is literally okay. Okay, let me just say something, okay? First of all, this is just, again, pure, unadulterated, racist bullshit. Pure, unadulterated racist bullshit. Joe Rogan to a guest who said he has a black dad and a white mom. Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of a black man and then you get the mind of a white man all together in some strange combination. Black people have a different brain. Oh my fucking Lord.
Dad's black, mom's white. Standard issue, pretty much.
Powerful combination genetic wise, right? You get the body of the black man and then you get the mind of the white man all together in some strange combination. That doesn't, by the way, mean that black people don't have brains. It's a different brain. Don't get me. What are you yet?
Are you trying to cancel Joe Rogan? No, I'm not. I can't. There is no such thing. That's not a real thing. Okay? Go ahead if you want to. It's not just going to work. Check his log on Twitch. Wait, he streams on Twitch? The dude, Freddie Lockhart? He's never chatted in here. He's never been in here. Mind of a white man, body of a white woman, and the body of a black man from a body of a black woman. Wait, what the fuck? No, he's... Someone in the chat said Joe meant this as a compliment. Dude, he did. That's how fucking insidious racism is. That's how fucking powerful racism is. That's how powerful white supremacy is. He thinks he's being complimentary to a half black, half white person when he's saying that, not realizing how fucking racist he's being. That's my point. It's a part of your life. It's a part of your everyday existence because when you live in America, when you grow up in America, you think that's a fucking compliment, dude. Okay? Why the fuck do we talk about this shit all day, every goddamn day? And other white people also think that, for the record, okay? They think that that's like, oh, I don't understand what the fuck Joe was saying that was like wrong. He's just talking to a black guy, you know? Like that's the point. That's the fucking point. So being able to overcome that, or being able to like recognize that that's bad, okay, and changing your attitude, especially when like there's a sea of there's a sea of like confirmation that you can get from other people who also feel that way, when like every part of the media is telling you that that's all right. That is, you know, it's hard to fucking shake that. Straight up. That's why, I mean, it's like, it's no different. What Joe did here is literally no fucking different than like when we watch Black White, you know, and we saw, and it was so educational. It was awesome because it showed the varying degrees of like racist behavior that a lot of times like non-black people engage in towards black people without recognizing. Like, we've talked about it before. There's like a tier system. You know what I mean? There's like the entry level racism. There's like the fucking secondary, third. And then the final tier of racism is like when you're literally like a Klansman. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Like he's just like, Joe's like a couple steps underneath, but like not by a lot when he's saying this, when he still thinks it's like a positive thing. Okay? He doesn't think this is like an offensive thing to say. He's not even recognizing how fucking racist this is to say. You understand? Why are black emotes disabled in this chat? Because your name is Force Enjoy Juice Time, bro. You know why black emotes are disabled in this chat. Don't make me log you in fucking Forsen's channel, okay? Like, I wonder why. I wonder why black emotes are disabled in this chat, dude. Well, you got me because I'm fucking racist, I think. That's probably why, right? I wonder why I did that, dude. It's weird. Anyway, not enough people know about sociology. Everyone undergoes socialization from the moment that they're born. Yeah. So, you are so well spoken. Can I touch your hair? You're pretty for a black girl. Can you get sunburnt? Levels of racism exist. Yeah, it's like what people talk about when they say microaggression and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's still coming from a place of otherizing black people. So, why do you think the guy he was talking to just said, yeah, I literally agreed and didn't care about what Joe said? I mean, look, I can't speak on this because I'm not a black person. From obviously my own personal experience. The only thing I can do is judge this by what I've heard from my black friends about these sorts of conversations. But if you're a black person or if you're half black, you're quite literally conditioned into appealing to the sensibilities of the white majority around you. It's just as simple as that. So even in that situation, when you're like having a conversation with a person who's like saying otherwise like very racist shit, It's a really awkward position to be in socially because you never want to fucking be like, oh, that's racist as fuck, bro. Shut the fuck up. You have to fit in. Many of you chatters don't realize that like your one black friend in fucking middle school that was the only black kid at school that you constantly went up to get like the N-word pass was probably doing it at first out of obligation and to try to fit in. And then maybe after a certain while, he himself was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this because this is like positive affirmations that I'm getting from white people, not recognizing until many years later. And there's probably some fucking, you know, black kids in the chat right now that are that used to feel that way, that recognize it later on, that like that still comes from a fucking place of being otherized. And like your only utility as a black person in that situation was allowing and excusing other white people's racism. That sucks. Okay? It sucks. The other part of that, remember how I said like the fucking varying degrees of racism? It works both ways. There's varying degrees of like trying to appeal to racist values without recognizing it, conditioning yourself, training yourself to fucking be that way. That's why code switching originally is like a term that black people used. Code switching. Like as in you code switch when you're around white people to speak like a white person. Okay? You are describing my life as one of the two black people in my Catholic school from K through 8.
Hassle.
Anyway, so that is how it is. It's just the way it is. It's a super complex situation that many people still refuse to recognize and act like it doesn't exist. And it's very frustrating. I don't know what else to fucking say about it other than like it's just really fucking frustrating that people won't even see it. And that's it. And that affirmation, that reinforcement that like people get, that they desperately seek out, is the justification that helps them continue being the way that they are, because they feel like, all right, we got it. Like we got it. I have a black friend. He doesn't care. You know? And that shit sucks. It probably breaks your fucking brain too if you're like a black kid growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood and you're just like, holy fuck. You know? That's where it comes from. Anyway, my white friends in high school constantly knowing if I spoke out I'd be killing the vibe or being lame. Took me years to break out of that. Yeah, there's like when I don't use AV around black people, around white people, I've had them ask me if I can talk black. Lamau. Anyway, so just recognize all that, okay? Recognize all that, and that's literally part of the reason why, you know, I tell you at the top of the hour there's a 60-second ad break. You know what I mean? And that if you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. For $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, you know? Oh, no! How else would I be able to fucking purchase a Porsche, bitch? These are the segues that people keep coming back for. You know what I'm saying? Yo! Racially motivated. That's exactly right. Thank you, Nice Harris, for the 5 gifted subs, by the way.
L14 Miz.
My trauma is not your segue. Yeah. My school in SoCal was pretty segregated because of the income disparities, and this led me to being my only Mexican kids in the water polo team. So I was friends with white people and be tokenized like that shit sucks. You don't feel whole. I didn't recognize this shit till I moved to San Francisco alongside discovering you. Yeah, I mean, that's... Dude, if you, as the only Mexican kid in your fucking rich white neighborhood are unaware personally of yourself being tokenized until later in your life, then obviously the fucking white kids that are being racist are not even aware of it. It's just like their way of life, is their way of existence. This isn't to like defend the white people being racist, but it's more so to help everybody comprehend that, like, you know, if someone recognizes that they're racist and they've moved on and they want to no longer be that way, then like constantly fucking rehashing that is unproductive. Okay. And you're not really winning anything. Like, you're not winning anything. You're not winning a prize. You're not winning anything. You got nothing out of that, you know? You just felt sanctimonious for a little bit, but that's it.
Got the mind of a white man.
Anyway, just like when you fucking avoid the ad break at the top of the hour, which I'm running right now. I still remember being shitted on by you when I asked, when did we stop using the word ebonics for AAVE? Wait, what? I shit on you? You deserved it. If I shat on you, you deserved it. Anyway. So, yeah, I found it really, like, we already talked about this. Like, we talked about all this shit. What is this? Joe Rogan defending a guy who taught a dog how to do a Nazi salute. Like, it's very cute that he taught the dog to do that. Joe Rogan defending someone who got fired for tweeting going to Africa. I hope I don't get AIDS.
That's amazing.
Just kidding. I'm white.
Africa. She was, I think she took an Ambien and she was drinking.
Yeah.
And she's like, going to Africa. Hope.
By the way, this is quite literally a famous story about, like, a famous story by John Ronson. It's a real story, but this is like literally a story that people use to describe how fucking, like, people go buck wild on cancellation seminars on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, that is literally a story that perfectly exemplifies like how ridiculous cancel culture can get out of hand, or like how ridiculous this kind of dogpiling can get out of hand, for the record. So people still using that is pretty funny.
Hope I don't get.
You know? People still using that as an example is like, yeah, so you've been publicly shamed. That's what